Back and prepared to be bedazzled, because today I'm going to be shedding light on the number 2 reason appertaining to why the land of draconian slavery and draconian oppression is a terrible place to live in. So what is this attributable to? Without further ado, without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. Lamentably, much to my dismay, much to my consternation, much to my chagrin, much to my grief, much to my agony, much to my agitation, much to my irritation, slavery by evisceration fees is perpetrated against people working for private sector jobs based on voluntary demand in the land of draconian slavery and draconian oppression. In this control market economy, there are over 13,000 evisceration fees that are imposed by bureaucratic apparatuses, which people work real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand pay and did not receive anything for paying. In this control market economy, having over 13,000 evisceration fees that are imposed by bureaucratic apparatuses, which people work real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand pay and did not receive anything for paying, not only amplifies the cost of living, but also commonly reduces the standard of living for people work real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand. When a person's standard of living is reduced, and it can adversely impinge on his quality of life. In this control market economy, having over 13,000 evisceration fees that are imposed by bureaucratic apparatuses, which people work real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand pay and did not receive anything for paying, renders it far more cumbersome for people work real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand to be able to afford to attain a mediocre standard of living. In this control market economy, a person needs to have substantial wealth to be able to afford to attain his basic needs, such as a housing need and transportation need. In this control market economy, when people work real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand pay evisceration fees that are imposed by bureaucratic apparatuses, they not only receive absolutely nothing for doing so, but also deplete their hard-earned money. By depleting their hard-earned money on paying evisceration fees that are imposed by bureaucratic apparatuses that they receive absolutely nothing for paying, it also is far more cumbersome for them to establish a sizable investment portfolio. Slavery in any form is immoral, deplorable, reprehensible, and inhumane. Even though modern slavery is epitome of a flagrantly deplorable injustice that should have never been brought to fruition, it is inapt to ever be abolished in the 21st century, 22nd century, or 23rd century. Slavery in any form is unwarranted, unvindicated, and unjustified. Nothing salubrious can ever ensue from a person succumbing to slavery. In the land of draconian slavery and draconian oppression, people are monetarily penalized for contributing to economic production by working real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand. It is all the more cumbersome for a person to attain a mediocre standard of living in the land of draconian slavery and draconian oppression when he works a real private sector job based on voluntary demand and is bereft of his hard-earned money. A person is at a higher probability to succumb to a destitute standard of living if he is part of the real private sector workforce as a result of an exorbitant amount of evisceration fees being imposed against him in the land of draconian slavery and draconian oppression. The person is all the more vulnerable to becoming indigent, penurious, destitute, and impoverished if he is part of the real private sector workforce as a result of a copious amount of evisceration fees being imposed against him that he receives absolutely nothing for paying. It is eminently arduous to be able to afford to attain a mediocre standard of living in the land of draconian slavery and draconian oppression, since there are a surfeit of evisceration fees that are imposed against people who work real private sector jobs based on voluntary demand that they did not receive anything for paying. I hope that you deem this video to be riveting, captivating, mesmerizing, insightful, enthralling, intriguing, amusing, and engrossing. I hope that you're entrenched in the unalloyed epicness. Thanks for watching. Have a blissful day.